Hi, I'm John, and in today's video we're going to talk about 4 common part writing mistakes that beginners make and how to fix them. Let's get right to it. When I look back at some of my own compositions or at the compositions of rookie composers, I often see a bunch of mistakes that could be corrected with just a little bit of instruction. In this video I'm going to give you some examples of common mistakes and how to fix them. Actually, that's not true. I've actually just got one solution that can be summed up in just 3 words. Don't do it. Or in just 2 words. Just don't. But seriously, we're going to go over some of the ways that some of these mistakes can be corrected. The 4 common mistakes we'll go over today are parallel fifths and octaves, awkward leaps, too many leaps at once, and not considering the proper range of each voice. First up, we have parallel fifths and octaves. Rookies usually do this when they're starting to write progressions that involve movements of root by second. For example, if you're going from a C major triad to a D minor triad in a 4-voice texture, the root of your chord is moving one whole step from C to D. And if you don't really know what you're doing, and if you're writing stuff chorale style, you'll probably just move all the voices parallel, thus resulting in parallel fifths and octaves. Sorry, but that's just not stylistic. It's just not. The solution to this problem is actually really simple. All you really need to do is either move all of the upper voices contrary to the bass so that you avoid all those parallel fifths and octaves, or you can move the third of the first triad parallel to the bass to the third of the second triad and move the other voices contrary to the bass. That second progression is usually reserved for deceptive cadences. Next up we have awkward leaps, and I'm sorry to say this, but I repeatedly see this mistake in reharmonizations of old chorales in a particular hymnal that shall remain unnamed. Sorry dude, but you're supposed to be professional and you don't even know how to harmonize a chorale. By awkward leaps I especially mean leaps of a major or minor seventh, especially in the middle of a phrase when there is no chance to prepare for them. Sevenths are dissonant intervals and pretty large leaps at that, so they should pretty much be avoided in chorale style part writing. Another awkward leap that should generally be avoided is the augmented fourth or the diminished fifth. Yes, I do know that Bach does sometimes use this in his chorales, and it's not really a problem in instrumental music, but it's often safer to just avoid it altogether unless you know that your choir can handle something like that. So just be conscious of that. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations! You officially know how not to butcher part writing. So if you want to level up even further, please hit that subscribe button down below for more content. Otherwise, your next piece might end up in that hymnal. Another rookie mistake is to have too many leaps at once, often in the bass part, and I'm sorry to say this, but that same unnamed hymnal that I mentioned above makes this same mistake all the time. The solution to this problem is pretty straightforward. Actually, I think there's 2 things you could do. You could either limit your leaps to the size of a third, or you could, if you're going to do like a big leap, like an octave leap or a fifth leap, you generally want to compensate for that by moving stepwise in the other direction right after that. The 4th part writing mistake is to not consider the proper range of each voice, and I'm sorry, but this problem is all over the reharmonizations of chorales in the hymnal that I keep bringing up. And many times the arranger gives low Ds to the basses for some reason. I'm sorry, but most average basses cannot hit that low D. And you really shouldn't expect them to be able to, unless we're some kind of like epic Russian choir or something. So how do we solve this problem? Once again, quite simple. All we really need to worry about is to keep all the voices within the ranges on the staff specified here. As long as you do that, you shouldn't have to worry. But if you want to go outside those ranges, just consult with your musicians, consult with your singers. Generally, if you stay within these parameters, whoever performs your music should do just fine. So now, you hold the sacred knowledge to avoid rookie part writing mistakes. Use it wisely or prepare for the consequences, like that hymnal haunting all of your future compositions forever. Subscribe now before it's too late. Goodbye.